Hello, my name is Risa, and today I'm going to read a book called Magic Growing Powder by Janet Quinn Harkin. Pictures by Art Cummings. Once there was a king named Max. He was very, very short. King Max hated being short, although no one else seemed to mind. He spent all his time trying to make himself taller. He hung by his hands from the lights, but that just hurt his arms. He hung by his feet too. He ate bowl after bowl of spinach until he began to turn green, but nothing made him taller. So King Max sat and sulked all day. He's very green from the spinach. He sent his whole court away and filled the palace with strange people who promised to make him taller. His only child, Princess Penny, was very sad. "Father," she said, "there's no one to rule your kingdom." But the king would not listen to her, so things got worse and worse. One day, two strangers came to see the king. "Your Majesty," they said, "we have brought you this." And they opened a small wooden box. "What is it?" asked the King Max. "It looks like a box of sand." "Magic growing powder," said the strangers. "When some of this falls onto a living thing, it grows overnight." "How much does the powder cost?" asked the king. "Half of your kingdom," said one of the strangers. "And your daughter's hand in marriage," said the other. "Cheap at the price," said the king. Princess Penny did not believe the strangers, and she did not want to marry either one. "Now, wait a minute, father," she said. "We must test the powder first." "Very well," said the king. The strangers went to the window and sprinkled some powder onto the daisies below. "Just wait overnight," said the strangers. At night, they dug up the daisies and planted sunflowers. Ooh. Sure enough, by morning, there were flowers reaching to the window ledge. "I'll take the powder," said the king. "Just a minute," said the princess. "It worked on flowers, but does it work on anything else? We must try it again." She's smart, that one, Princess Penny. "Oh, very well," said the king. So the strangers sprinkled some on the palace cat. They shut it in the cellar for the night. While everyone else was asleep, they brought in a tiger instead. The next morning, a deep growl came from the cellar. "Goodness," said the king, "that cat is huge." "The powder works. Bring me half of my kingdom." "Just a minute, father," said Princess Penny. "You wouldn't want to grow too tall, would you? Look how large those flowers. Look how large those flowers and that cat grew. Try the powder on these men first, and then we shall know the correct dose for a person." "Good idea," said the king. But the strangers didn't think so. They looked unhappy when the king sprinkled powder on their heads. I wonder why. They looked unhappy when guards locked him in their room for the night. But in a few minutes, they fell asleep. So far, so good, said Princess Penny. She had put a sleeping powder into their wine. When all was quiet, she crept out of the palace and called together all the carpenters and the tailors and all the shoemakers. They made 2 tiny beds. They made tiny shoes and tiny clothes, and they lowered the ceiling. In the morning, when the 2 strangers woke up, they were hanging over the ends of their beds. They leapt up and banged their heads on the ceiling. They tried to get dressed, but their clothes were much too tiny. Help, help! We've turned into giants, screamed the 2 men. They leapt out the window, ran away, and were never seen again. Princess Penny told her father what she had done. What a fool I have been, he sighed. I should quit right now and let you be queen. Rubbish, said Princess Penny. Being short doesn't matter. You can be a good king if you try. So King Max called back all the court. He worked so hard at being a good king that he didn't have time to notice that he was short. And what's more, his people didn't notice he was short either. The end. Thank you.